Good morning, Tim from Alpha Wolf Trading coming at you with this week's sample of stocks to watch for trading and investing from this week's Pro Member video. If you want the full video and list of stocks to watch, along with 10 hours of educational content, access to our live daily chat room, consider becoming a Pro Member for only $197 a year. And if you don't want to become a member, but you'd like to have the weekly stocks to watch for trading and investing blog sent directly to your email, just go to the alphawolftrading.com, sign up to become a free member, and you'll get the weekly stocks to watch blog sent directly to your email every Sunday. Speaking of the blog, make sure you go over there and check out my take on the markets and the specific sectors that I think we need to pay close attention to for the upcoming week. Some good stuff over there at the blog. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into the sample of the sample list of stocks to watch for trading and investing for next week. And I'm going to start with this SCWX. Now they have earnings on the 6th, which is Wednesday. It's a small float, 8.5 million shares in the float, but we did get a little volume spike on Friday. And this has been consolidating really nicely just above the 50-day moving average, flirting with 1050, just below the 20-day. Now, this may not move until after earnings, or we could get a little bit of a run heading into earnings. Looking for it to take out the $11 holla and take out this trend line with some conviction. You got stochastics starting to curl up. Like I said, after earnings, this could get a nice pop if they report a good number. Could get a little bit of a move into earnings. I would not hold it through earnings unless it's just a lotto play. But SCWX is a low floater with a potential catalyst on the horizon. I think it's worth having on your radar because it does have a pretty nice looking technical setup. All right, let's take a look at HIMX. Now, HIMX had some really bullish call action on Friday, along with a note out from Baird saying that they felt as though the company's interlaced TTDI ramp next year represents significant share gain opportunity for HIMX. And, I think these guys are in the AR/VR space. Apple's got their event coming up Monday. If there's some AR/VR news that comes out of that event, maybe HIMX is one of those names that would participate in some kind of a move. But I like the look of this. I like the fact that it's flirting with the $8 holla. Could be a red to green move, maybe a day trading opportunity. Could be a swing trade opportunity. I think you're going to have potentially some resistance right around the 200-day, around the $9 holla. But that's a pretty decent move on an $8 stock. So looking for maybe a red to green, maybe a day trading opportunity, possibly a swing. If you wind up taking out $9, I think you could potentially see a move up into the 10 and change area. So worth keeping an eye on HIMX. I really like the setup on this. And I like that volume pop that it had on Friday. Now, this is not a thin stock. This has got about, I think, 122 million shares in the float. Let me make sure of that real quick. I'm going to look at that. 122 million shares in the float. So it's not super thin. It's not real thick either. But I like it more as a swing opportunity on a pullback to say, 770. I think that could be an interesting spot to take it for a swing if you get some kind of a red to green. But it also could provide enough range to have a nice scalp opportunity. So worth having HIMX on the radar. STG, I mentioned on the blog, one of our pro members is just really tremendous at IPOs. And that, admittedly, not one of my stronger areas to trade is IPOs. I'm just not really comfortable with them. But one of our pro members is just tremendous at them and had some fantastic calls last week. In the last couple of weeks, IQ, Huya, and Billy and SE. And one of the stocks that he actually called out on Friday was STG. Now, this is an education training stock, and I believe that there is an education training stock that will be reporting earnings this week. Now, this could wind up being some kind of a sympathy play to that earnings report, but this did have a nice little move with some increasing volume on Friday. Now, this has got 104 million shares in the float. It's not really a tiny floater, but it's taking out this trend line. Could have some resistance right there at 11 and change range. But then if you take that out with some authority, then you're going up and testing potential all-time highs right around $14. So I like STG for a potential red to green continuation play next week. Definitely worth having on the radar. APPN. So this one, I like the daily. I like how it was consolidating really, really well. And then we got a little bit of a pop on Friday. Now my issue, on good volume. Now this has only got 18.7 million shares in the float. My one concern would be that it did not close in the upper portion of this candle. So we may be looking at a failed breakout here. If that's the case, then maybe we pull back to $30 or $29.50, somewhere in that area. And see if that acts as support. Could be an interesting swing spot for APPN. Could be a red to green play, right, with some real volume. Get some follow through. I don't like the fact that stochastics are curling down, but I did like that volume spike on Friday. I like the way that it's breaking out of this little pattern here. Pretty good looking setup. See if maybe we get a red to green and some follow through on this one. Worth having on the radar for a potential day trade. Maybe have it on the radar as a swing opportunity or longer term hold consideration on a pullback to the 50-day or the 200-day if that were to happen. So worth keeping an eye on APPN. I just like the technical setup there. SCWX. So they have earnings coming up on next week. Oh no, I already did SCWX. Hold on. DGLY. Let me do DGLY. All right, so DGLY, which has gotten crushed by Taser, right? I mean, really, really put a hurting on these guys with the police department and sales in that area. They are trying to diversify into other areas, but it's been a slow roll for these guys. Now, AAX, so what happened is the DGLY has won a review from the U.S. Patent Attorney's Office that their patents are patentable, and that could actually create an opportunity in AAXN, which is trading at all-time highs. Could see a pullback on AAXN, and I would consider that one for a swing or long-term hold consideration. You could see a gap up on DGLY, but I would not chase it. It has a tendency to be a pop and flopper. And, these guys have got some revenue and debt concerns. It's a small float stock. If it gaps up, don't chase the gap. Maybe you look for some kind of an intraday setup. Could be a day trading opportunity. Could be a high risk swing play. And I say high risk because I'm very familiar with the patent plays or the patent companies out there and how these things, you can get U.S. Patent Attorney Office approval and all this stuff, but really the Supreme Court or a jury can overrule the U.S. Patent Attorney's Office. So there's a potential here for DGLY. I think it would just be wise for AAXN just to buy these guys, but that's just that you don't buy something because you think maybe somebody could buy them. But I think that would be a pretty smart move on AAXN's part, as opposed to going to court with these guys and fighting this battle. But AAXN is clearly in a much better position than DGLY is, as to whether or not they can even survive an extended court battle. So, potential day trading opportunity there with DGLY. If it gaps up, don't chase it. It is in a shorter term uptrend. It is sitting on some key moving averages. So, but you can see that it does tend to pop and flop. So be careful there with DGLY. Potential day trading opportunity. That's about it. Or very high risk swing or long term hold consideration. All right, MRK. Looks like they're the big ASCO winner, reporting some really good data on lung cancer. And, you know, it's consolidating right here at the 200-day moving average. $60 basically, 60 and change, 60.50 has been an area of potential price resistance. Likely going to see a gap up in this. All-time highs for the stock is 66.25. Now this has got 2.7 billion shares in the float, so this is a very thick stock. You know, on a gap up to 66.25, if that's what we do, I wouldn't chase it there. Look for some kind of an intraday setup, and I think you could take this one into consideration for a long-term hold. And potentially look for a pullback to this. You know, if it does gap up, maybe you look for a pullback into the 62.25 area. See if that holds. We had some potential. We have some potential price support in the $62 area. So look for that to pull back, act as support for a bounce. Could be a good-looking swing or long-term hold play in MRK. So I think with ASCO happening, there's going to be a lot of biotechs. I've said for the last couple of weeks that there are a tremendous amount of really good-looking setups out there in the biotech space. And maybe this week we see some of these names start to break out of those great-looking technical setups. So there are quite a few names out there that look really, really good. All right, so that's it. That is my sample of list of stocks to watch for this week. Like I said earlier, if you want a full list every week of stocks to watch, along with 10 hours of educational content and our live trade chat room and my trade plans, my swing trade plans and long-term hold trade plans sent to you before I take the trade, consider joining up for $197 a year. Great group of people. And look, I'm not the only one. I've got some fantastic traders in the room, and love to have you as part of the family. All right, have a wonderful, fantastic weekend. Good luck trading next week, and I'll see you all next week.